Normally, I would never subject myself to a steaming pile of dog shit that this movie was, but it was my little brother's birthday this past week, and he wanted my dad and I to watch War of the Worlds with him. He had already seen it, by the way. He went out of his way to watch this a second time for whatever reason, and I think he just wanted to see what we would say about it. And that was not gonna lie, some of the most fun I've had watching a movie with anybody in the longest time. And I'm glad that I watched it in that context and that we could just rip it apart from start to finish. But holy fucking shit, War of the Worlds 2025 with Ice Cube and the guy that plays Roderick in Diary of a Wimpy Kid and Eva Longoria. All these people must have been paid. Amazon must have given them a good chunk of money for this steaming pile of literal dog shit that I don't think there is enough bleach to wash my eyes of this just disgustingly lazy thrown together. I've never seen a movie just thrown together for the sake of nothing else other than literally watching somebody use their computer. The whole fucking movie, you're just watching him use the computer, and I don't want to say anything. Obviously, I'm going to say a lot of things that people have already said, and maybe I'm obviously late to the game with this review in general. I wanted to live my entire life without having experienced this movie, but hey, it was my little brother's birthday. You gotta do what the birthday person wants, right? No, I like I said, it was actually a lot of fun in some ways. But the fact that it was such a I mean, the entire time you can't help but feel like Amazon was just shoving everything that it could in front of your face, and how shameless it was. I think the funniest fucking thing about this movie was the fact that they didn't try to be subtle with it at all. Like every bit of them pointing out all of the Amazon plugs and all of those moments were just so obvious. Like the guy that played let's just call him Roderick because I literally don't know the actor's name and I don't know his character's name in this movie because who gives a shit. But Roderick works for Amazon, and there are so many fucking moments where they really just shove their fucking logo in front of you. And I think the funniest thing is just how it lacked any subtlety. It was as if I was watching a movie where ads were a part of it. We're normally with streaming services nowadays, since commercials are kind of non-existent, unless you're watching an ad online or whatever. You know, I mean, what I mean is commercials like televised. When it comes to I grew up with commercials being televised. The fact that that's not a thing anymore. It's you're used to that clear. Okay, the movie is stopping. Like you're clear to that obvious divide between them. We're so conditioned to okay, the ad is playing now. This movie felt like that was just a part of it. Where on YouTube and on a lot of these things, there's that little dot that represents when the ad placement is going to happen. It felt like that's what the movie was witnessing a literal version of those little dots being placed just in random moments and random scenes in the movie throughout the whole entire thing. There's so many things that were just inconsistent. Ice Cube's daughter is literally someone that works in like medicine or biology. She's literally a scientist. And then she ends up getting into she ends up getting caught in one of the the moments of the aliens destroying a building, and basically gets a big piece of metal shrapnel in her fucking thigh, and then decides to pull it out. There's a lot of things that just don't make sense. And that obviously goes without saying. Ice Cube's performance just wasn't up there with Daniel Day-Lewis and Meryl Streep and all of those people. Ice Cube's acting, even when he's acting like himself in Are We There Yet or Friday, I would say Boys in the Hood is probably his most grounded performance, and that was when he was young and hungry and trying. The beautiful thing about youth and not having success is you actually will try. So Boys in the Hood, like Ice Cube has gotten me in certain moments. Shout out to Triple X State of the Union. If you've watched that, you know what I mean. Ice Cube is a fucking OG. Not just like talking about that NWA shit. You know what I'm talking about, cuh? Oh my god, I fucking hate myself sometimes. So, yeah, his performance was whatever. It was so, there's so many moments where he think like it's possible that his daughter or his son, we'll get into that character in a minute here too, because that was very interesting. His son, or his daughter, there are so many moments where he thinks that his daughter, somebody that he cares about, his partner that he works with at his job or whatever, he think like basically they play up that they're dying a lot of the time, or that like something happened to them, and his reaction is just like, oh, like he just gets up and fucking walks over, and it's just like sitting there like, oh no! It's just it's so obvious that none of them were filming their scenes together. That's like what I think pissed me off the most about watching this movie, is that their fucking acting was all like one-sided, and it's the worst thing. A lot of movies sometimes get away with that. You'd be surprised how many times a scene is happening with people and they're not anywhere, they're not doing the scene at all. You know, obviously phone calls or certain moments like that in movies, they can get away with them not being in the same space, you know? And this was it was just so clear that all of the scenes were not filmed together, and that there was just no... Rarely do I watch movies where I literally don't give a shit about a human being that I'm witnessing all these things. But that's all that a bad movie is. What good art does, for me at least, is inspire empathy or something that makes me relate to someone on a human level, whether that's a character or a songwriter or an author, whatever the fuck. Like, all art and everything that we all experience as human beings comes back to what is the human condition and how can we relate to each other on a human level, and on that, like, just like a microscopic, from that standpoint. That's all I mean. And the worst feeling is when you're watching something and you literally don't feel anything towards the characters from a human standpoint. It's fucking insane. It's insane how little I felt for all of these people in this movie. So yeah, the acting is pretty bad. The movie was just... It's not even that it was written poorly. It's just like, I don't understand what the point of the movie... Like, why did this movie get made other than just to make Amazon look like hero? It literally, the movie is just like, look at how amazing... If this were to happen, Amazon is still there for you. When really, like, there's no way... There's so many moments where, like, buildings are getting destroyed. Everything around Ice Cube, essentially... Almost said Ice-T. We were watching it with my dad, and he confused Ice Cube for Ice-T. But, you know, we weren't watching Law and Order or anything. So, and now, no joke, Ice-T in Law and Order looks like Academy Award worthy. That looks like an Academy Award worthy performance in comparison to this pile of fucking horse shit. The funniest thing is just thinking like how everything is crumbling around Ice Cube, and somehow his building is all good. He's not, like, it's the most frustrating thing to see a movie where the world is getting destroyed, except for the character that we're watching and the building that he's in. That's the funniest fucking thing about this movie, is that it's as if he's not in the movie. Basically, it felt like I was watching the movie with Ice Cube. And that's the movie, is him watching it on his computer. And it felt like the whole movie feels like a Let's Play on YouTube, or someone just like live streaming on Twitch or something. It's insane how, a lot of times, this is gonna derail into a whole other topic of conversation, but this is a huge part of the movie, so I want to make sure I phrase this the right way. I'm gonna need some of this. Oh my god. I go back and forth a lot of the time with how I feel about technology like this, specifically smartphones. Smartphones, computers, texting, social media, the use of the internet, the use of webcams, the use of video cameras in general. These basic, accessible pieces of technology that we have that we're able to use day to day. I go back and forth in my head a lot about that stuff being used in movies, because I would hate to think that a lot of movies that use a lot of movies where that's such a integral part of the story, like this movie, I guess. I'm always thinking of, like, when it comes to the arts and anything artistic, anything that's creative, I always think, like, I'm such a futurist with it. I'm always thinking to myself, well, like, what kind of audience will there be for this in the future, if there will be an audience? Will there be an audience for everything that exists online? Or will it just kind of add up to where there's too much shit that's being made and no one really pays attention to any of it? Which is just a damn shame. But what I mean is, I'm always wondering what's going to be relevant 50 to 100 years from now. And when you see movies with texting and the little, like, text bubbles pop up and people are texting on their phones, as much as I genuinely think it has to be implemented because it's so attached to our society nowadays and it's so synonymous with our culture in the 21st century, especially. While I think that should be integrated, I worry about movies like this, or any movie that uses that so much, because if texting doesn't exist, or smartphones, or the internet is just completely different in the future, then all of that will seem very it'll be received completely differently. Of course, there's always going to be people that say, "Oh, well, this is how life was at the time," and that brings relevance to these things. Of course, like, when we understand history, we're able to look at these older pieces of art from a different frame. You know, you can frame it differently. Of course, there is that aspect of it. But what I mean is, this movie, if and when the internet or the use of computers, it becomes like an ancient thing. If anything, actually, this movie might be a prime example of, like, how much people were using this shit, how heavily reliant we are on it. I wonder, you know, how watchable things like this will be. Like, I don't think this movie will be watchable in many years from now, just because of how it's limited to it being a guy using his computer the entire time. That's just like that. That's how I look at these types of things. I love movies that, you know, I love when stories allude to those things, but they don't bring them into the center of they don't bring them into the attention of the scene too much. For example, it's nice to see if a movie takes place in the 70s or 80s or whatever the fuck, like a specific era. You just see that in the costumes. You see that in the way people carry themselves, the way they talk. We're able to, like, distinguish, okay, yeah, like, people were different when there was a timepiece, and you know, we can see that. That there are so many other things that give that away that we don't, you know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Now I'm not even fucking talking about the movie. God fucking damn it. I'm so sorry. I'm an idiot. I want to just point out why him being on the computer, all this is leading up to my main point. Him being on the computer the entire time is not... It's not even a movie. It's not even anything worth watching because of how it's limited to that and how he's just stuck on that. It feels like, you know, the whole movie feels like he wasn't allowed to, like his boss told him, hey man, no matter what, you are not to leave this computer and leave this room. And that was just the weirdest thing about watching it. So the reason I was going on that tangent or why that is just an interesting topic to me when it comes to how art being produced today, like how long will it withstand the tests of time? That's what I'm talking about with all of this. Because this movie is so reliant on the device integration in the play, it's like literally, no pun intended, it literally is a plot device, and that is the plot. The entire script must have read that, like, okay, now he's using his Maps app. He clicks on the Maps link. The map directs him to where his daughter and his son are. And I gotta get into talking about his son, the whole fucking stupid ass side story that happened with that. But the script must have been like less than 50 or 60 pages, because there's not much dialogue outside of it, not much going on outside of him literally clicking and using the mouse and keyboard and looking at a fucking screen. It's just the reason why I went on that whole tangent was because this movie is an example of, you know, something that is so momentary it might as well not exist at all. There are some things, there's some pieces of, this is what a lot of social media is, this is what a lot of stuff on YouTube is, what a majority of the online world is stuff that is too fleeting that it doesn't feel like it even exists at all. And it's just so goddamn pointless, and it's just like a waste of energy. It's insane how many things online perpetuate a waste of energy, a waste of like a good human brain. What fucking blows my mind about this piece of shit, fucking garbage, god-awful fucking shit fuck of a festival, of a fucking, a fuck shit fest of I've been drinking, by the way. I don't know if you noticed. Let me point out, I was drinking. I had to drink throughout this entire movie. I had to drink just now and all tonight just to make this review, and I just felt like drinking tonight. But I'm drinking, so that's why like I'm sounding like a fucking more like an idiot than I already do. But that's what like pisses me off so much with this shit is this movie is. What I was getting into, right? That's right. Now I remember. The waste of human resources. Like I'm trying to think of how many people went to fucking college, how many people studied film, how many people studied story writing, and really, or obviously, if they did, they probably wouldn't have made this movie at all, right? Or if they did go to college for that, they wouldn't even want to waste their time with something like this. But whoever made this movie, whoever worked on this shit and actually produced this fucking movie is it's insane how much of a waste all of the human, like all the energy that every person spent on this film was what could have been used for something way better and could have been used for something else. That's what like blows my mind with it, is that how far humans have come and how amazing we are. Like, we are actually insanely ahead and behind simultaneously nowadays. We are so fucking far that it's almost like it's almost like we're a literal version of why things come in cycles, because we're almost too smart for our own good that it's making us stupid. And what I mean by that is, I'm shocked at how much led up, how many people that were involved and how much led up to this movie being made. And I mean, It's kind of fucking hilarious to think about. The funniest fucking thing about this movie is to think of like actual professionals or people. Like, I picture some guy who's been in the business since like the fucking 60s or 70s as maybe picture. What if you were like one of the crew members and you worked on like some of the greatest movies of all time as like just somebody, you know, behind the scenes, and then all of a sudden your entire career and the industry just taking such a downward fucking nosedive. And everything in society falling apart. I mean, is War of the Worlds just like a personification of our society and the artistic world literally like falling apart in front of us, that we are resorted to having to watch Ice Cube pretend to give a shit about anything at all. Like, holy fucking Christ. If there was ever a movie to show people how fucking bad and rock bottom, like how far we've sunk into a rock bottom stage of the artistic industry, any artistic industry and the creative world as a whole, this movie is that. Just show them this. Show how disastrous everything in society was at this time with this single movie, because it is, I mean, astronomically, like the aliens that visited planet in this movie, and in a way I kind of wish would visit me and blow up our fucking planet so that I can not have to exist in the same timeline that this movie does. It literally is astronomically fucking dog shit. Astronomically fucking dog shit. And I hate it very much. And I think that movies like this are... Me even talking about this and wasting 20 minutes of my fucking life, giving it this attention, which I'm going to stop this in a second because that's 20 minutes too long. So, the fact that, like they make it's definitely one of those movies where they make it just to get people to talk about it, and they know that it's bad, and they don't care, and whatever. That's fine. But... just the craziest thing about this is that it exists at all, and that it felt like just like a middle finger to the audience the entire time. As an audience member watching this, I literally felt like they were going on stage, turning around, pulling their pants down and spreading their ass cheeks so far that I can see how full of shit they are, and I can just see all the shit like seeping out of their fucking asshole. That's what watching this movie felt like, and I don't appreciate it at all. To everybody that worked on this movie, fuck you. Fuck your career. Fuck everything that you stand for. I'm shocked that you would even work on a fucking movie like this, but hey, I guess we all gotta pay the bills somehow. I'm saying this even though my channel, right, in most of these videos that I put on here are probably no better and no more watchable than that. But hey, if someone would rather watch me talk on camera in my fucking room with no fucking, not doing nothing but talking, not gonna lie, I don't really care to watch my own clips on here and shit. I literally record these and just kind of post them and then move on and try to never revisit them because I don't want to, feel weird about these videos, but I think I would rather watch myself talk on camera for an hour and a half than watch that movie again. I have videos on here that are literally an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I would much rather watch myself talk on camera and have to deal with my own annoying thoughts, doubling down and watching myself in that way. And I've done that before. I've listened to some of my videos on here just to see if any of it's cohesive or any of it has direction. And it's not easy. If you watch these videos, it's weird to watch it as the person that's the subject as well. For me, it's completely different than it is for you, obviously. But what I'm saying is that it's absolutely fucking crazy that countless YouTube videos that I've watched about 45 minutes to an hour long are more watchable and significantly better than War of the Worlds starring Ice Cube. God damn it, Ice Cube. You were in Friday, motherfucker! You made Friday, man! What the fuck are you fucking doing? What the fuck are you doing? You were in Boys in the Hood and Friday, some of the most epic, some of the most very important, groundbreaking movies for for that voice to be heard and those stories being told. Because as goofy and stoner-driven as Friday is, it's got some good, serious themes in there, and it's actually got a lot of good life shit in there. I think that's what people forget about with that movie, is it's so goofy, and yeah, Chris Tucker smoking angel dust and shit is funny, but, that movie has some good, deep shit by the end of it. John Witherspoon, God fucking damn it, I fucking love John Witherspoon. I miss him very much. I miss John Witherspoon so much. He's literally one of my favorite people in Hollywood ever, and, you did Friday, man. Ice Cube. Everything I just said about your movie, Friday, that's how impactful you have been to me. I watched you in State of the Union, XXX, man. I watched I even watched Are We Done Yet? I watched the Are We There Yet sequel. That's how, like, subtly Ice Cube has been, like, kind of attached to my life. Like, Ice Cube in movies specifically, and of course as a musician as well. Ice Cube is the shit. The album he recently released was actually fucking dope. It's got all, like, sorts of 90s, like, the whole album literally just feels like a throwback 90s album, and it's fucking awesome. Ice Cube is, like, the shit. So I'm wondering why he's making this shit. What the fuck are you fucking doing, bro? What the fuck are you fucking doing, Ice Cube? I hope they paid you at least $1 million or $2 million for this. I hope they paid you, like, a decent amount for this fucking garbage. I can't believe I'm still talking about it. But Ice Cube, I'm like the same. I literally, like, see myself in another life through him as far as playing, like, the angry person for humor. That's, like, my dream, is to play, like, an angry fucking. I love him in 21 Jump Street as well. Like, I fucking love Ice Cube. So again, I'm shocked that he made something like this. And having said all of this. The movie was so fun to just rip apart. If you want to get together with some bros and just, like, drink and shit on a movie for an hour and a half, and you don't have to take any of it seriously. Before I forget, I have to talk about his son. So the son being a part of, like, they have this character that's, like, Anon, which, like, overthrows the government. Ice Cube's character works for the government. So, like, they bring up a character that is supposed to represent Anon. And if you don't know who Anon is, it's basically just someone that wears, like, the V for Vendetta mask, and it's like a group of people that, Mr. Robot was literally inspired by this shit, but it's a group of people that just post videos talking about conspiracy, anti-government shit, and just trying to, the government doesn't care about you, they're trying to fuck whatever the fuck. That's that whole thing, the voice warping and shit. So anyway, they bring this character like that into it, and then it turns out that his son is that person, and it's very fucking stupid. It's just very stupid, and I don't want to say obvious. Like, I guess, you can kind of see it coming. It's just who cares? I think I was, like, half paying attention to that part of the movie. Again, I was drinking while watching this whole thing, so I was just kind of, and not paying attention, so I just didn't give a fuck about what was going on, and like, half paying attention to it, and yeah, that whole side of the story I did not care about at all. And I just didn't care about any of the characters. I think Ice Cube sacrifices himself at the end, if I remember correctly. I was pretty hammered at that point by the end of the movie, and I was just trying to not let it imprint me. Like, not let it get to me. Just like those little bugs in the movie that were, like, that eat data. I was trying not to let the horrible fucking AIDS bugs of this fucking movie infect my fucking data and in me, it feels like the movie literally felt like getting AIDS and shit, it's fucking terrible. I fucking hate it. God fucking damn it, I hate that movies like this get made, and that these fucking things exist at all, when there are so many people out there that can make such a better movie. They just don't get given the opportunity. Anyway, this whole fucking movie was crazy, but I hope that it brought you some entertainment with hearing me talk about it right now. If it didn't, then I guess I'll go fuck myself and die. Who cares about anything? Whatever. Fuck me. Fuck this movie being made. I really hate that I exist in the same timeline as this movie. I should have fucking ended it years ago. If I no, I'm kidding. I don't even want to go there. I want to get my this fucking YouTube video flagged or some shit, but it's like one of those things like, oh man, unfortunately, I've lived long enough to have to experience this movie in its existence. That's how bad this movie makes me wish I was never born to have to fucking watch it and witness it. So yeah, I didn't like it. I don't know if I made that clear enough. I might have. But just to reiterate, I didn't like it, and I didn't really care for it. And as you can see, I have a completely different vibe when I'm drinking, and I have a lot of fun with it. But we can't do this all the time. I drank way too much in my 20s. This is a nice little treat on the weekends at this point. But don't drink. Let me end this on a positive note. Hey, if you're a young person watching this, don't drink and drive. Don't do any sort of drugs that are going to alter you that much and drive. You're smoking weed. Just don't smoke too much. Care about your loved ones. Care about people that are in your life. Give people more attention than you than you might think that you're giving them. Just, it's okay to go out of your way for people more, even if they're not giving something back to you. It's okay to be nice to others, even if they're mean to you. I think that there is a lot of untapped love and the potential of a lot of togetherness that we as human beings aren't channeling. And I will always feel that is a tragedy, that there is a lot of love that isn't given to the self and to each other. And I guess this movie didn't make me feel like it was trying to give me I didn't feel the love in this movie. I didn't feel like they had any heart in it. Didn't feel like they made it for the desire to create some sort of cinematic experience. The movie literally exists as one long advertisement, like you've heard in many other videos and other people talking about that. But yeah, it's true. It's very true. And when you watch it, it's just so the unapologetic nature of it is just what pisses me off so much. Is like different if that's thrown in there subtly, and there are tasteful ways to do it. You know, there are funny ways to do it. It could have been a funny. What if the movie was like kind of serious, or it was like a little took itself a little more seriously, and those moments of throwing the Amazon thing in there was just like a funny little light humored Michael Bay movie-esque kind of thing, where like in Transformers, Anthony Anderson being the comic relief. Like if it was that kind of thing with a character using that as comic relief, and it was just done a little more tastefully, people wouldn't be so upset. People don't hate, you know, ad placements or certain things that are done for financial necessity. Like I don't hate ad placement shit in movies or TV at all. I hate when it's done like this, so carelessly and so clearly not just not presented in a way that is interesting. The thing that we want out of commercials or ads or thing, like growing up in the 90s and 2000s, the reason people look back at those years so fondly, or why we really like look at them with these rose-colored lenses, is because people did have the heart to try to make commercials interesting, or they did try to make things fun and exciting, despite them selling us something. So I guess as someone who grew up with that being sold to me, and it was sold to me so well that it literally I got my parents to spend money on that stuff, like Pokemon or whatever the fuck, because they sold it so well. But they didn't have to do much to make it fun and exciting. They just had to show it for what it is, and they were just honest about that. But it was still, it had a lot of heart in trying to make you excited about it. If this movie tried to make me get excited about Amazon fucking deals or whatever the fuck their services are, you know, if it was trying to make me get excited about that, and imagine if they went into the details of, like, you know, all sorts of useful, like, innovative things that you could take advantage of. Imagine them like selling it in that way, or putting, you know, framing it in a completely different way, as opposed to it was just kind of there. All of the Amazon advertisements, the very thing that the movie was 100% created for, wasn't even done well, or it wasn't even done in a way that made me excited. Make things fun. I am so grateful that I hold on to, like, my childlike wonder of a lot of things, and as much as I get self-conscious about being a man-child myself, I am so happy that I have held on to that childlike, like that, like the mindset of that and the excitement of things in that way. I just always want to hold on to that forever, because that was the only time I was truly fucking happy in my life. Not really. I'm fine. I'm pretty happy at the moment. And what I mean is, recently all my any depression shit I post on here is all a depressive episode or just a depressive moment, but does not represent how I feel literally 90% of the time around that, you know. There's all sorts of other shit happening outside of this. I'm just using that to try to reach out to a different type of audience. But anyway, what I'm getting at is, imagine if they made this movie and they made it fun and made me get excited about Amazon. It made, as much as like we want to shit on fast food companies and all these like corporations for using mascots or using certain characters to try to like appeal to people and take advantage of the consumer. While that is 100% a very conniving, almost sinister thing to do. It is a bit, not almost. It is sinister. As awful as that is, I can't help but feel that like we have to think about all of the other like creative minds that had to work towards making Ronald McDonald fun and exciting. I think that's something that people forget about, is like a lot of McDonald's commercials with Ronald McDonald, like the commercials and just the whole vibe of it is fucking amazing. It's amazing. It's so fucking lovely to feel excited about something and for something to persuade you into its world. Like those McDonald's commercials with Ronald McDonald or all sorts of Toys R Us with the giraffe, for example, Energizer Bunny, Tony the Tiger. There's all sorts, like there's a reason why mascots work is because they make things better. And I'm so shocked that like they literally could have taken advantage of making those advertising moments or making those plugs, Amazon plugs. They just could have approached it so differently. All of that could have been way more fun and interesting and I don't know, imagine if like this movie was made, like 20 years ago in the 2000s or the 90s where they, might have had that kind of approach. I, don't mean to always reference, like fast food shit. I just, when it comes to being in America and cultural things, this shit is easy to bring up. But, like, I am so attached to McDonald's advertising growing up with that I literally remember, if you grew up and you're my age, if you grew up in the same era that I did, you'll know exactly what I'm fucking talking about. The fucking cartoon, the Ronald McDonald and Friends animated fucking cartoon, or the short film that was literally created by the same people that made Rugrats and Rocket Power. Arlene Klasky and Gabe Supo, I think that's like how you pronounce their names. I hope that's how you pronounce those names. But like they literally made a McDonald's cartoon. That's how fucking deep the Ronald McDonald lore goes. So again, back to my point, it's insane how, that's how far McDonald's took. They stretch Ronald McDonald out so thin that it feels like, what hasn't it been attached to? Just like Mickey Mouse with Disney, just like anything else, right? Like, or anything that's so big in that way. Something that these mascots that are fucking huge with these brands and the symbol, like the fact that they literally are synonymous with and these symbols are the corporations, right? So, what I'm so amazed by is how fucking far they took the lore of Ronald McDonald and the McDonald's franchise lore back in the day, and then seeing this movie just so carelessly, so lazily. I just will never accept laziness. I'm such a lazy person outside of my creative endeavors. The only thing I might be lazy with is taking more time to structure what I want before I give it a final release with my music or my videos or anything. The one thing that I might do that is shooting myself in the foot is do things too impulsively. I feel like for a while I thought I was gonna like die young for whatever reason, so I have a habit of rushing things, or have a habit of like, as soon as I feel like it's good enough, I just kind of finish it. So that's the one thing that like I might regret with my own work or whatever the fuck. I don't know why I'm bringing this up, but what I mean with that is I'm not lazy. Regardless of that, I'm not lazy with it, and I work very hard. Even if it is kind of thrown together, I'm working very hard at throwing it together. That's what I can say about my shit. So the fact that this movie was very lazily made and just, oh my god, like not a single fucking, like, I love how I said I was going to end this video soon, and here we are, like another 15, 20 minutes later. But I can't fucking stand how lazy that whole fucking thing felt. I've never seen a movie that felt like it had less effort put into it. I know I made a video like ripping apart Street Dreams, and then I made another video recently talking about how I was too harsh on it. Street Dreams is literally like a masterpiece compared to this fucking movie. Street Dreams is actually like there's so many movies that by comparison feel like a like they're insanely, you know, high tier cinematic experiences, and yeah, War of the Worlds was not that. Fuck everybody that made this movie, and fuck me for watching it and giving it my attention at all. But again, it was my little brother's birthday, and it was a fun experience. So I'll never watch it again. And if I do, it'll be to just do the same thing, just rip it apart with somebody else that wants to watch it and rip it apart with me. But yeah, that movie was not good.